Good evening, everybody. It's Friday, April 25th, and this is the second of two videos that I'm going to shoot. And this video talks about IT pricing practices, Litchfield County Computers pricing practices, what they are, and how they compare with other IT companies. I should warn you, if you're watching this video for the first time, you're going to want to make sure you're sitting down, as some of this information that I'm going to give you is really going to shock you. But I have been finding recently that people need to be educated on what really goes on. Not only for my benefit, but for their own benefit as well. So here we go. Here at Litchfield County Computer, all this stuff you see here in the shop on this workbench is $50 an hour, no matter what it is. If you come here for tutoring is $40 an hour. Most, I would say probably 90% of the stuff that I do here in the shop typically does not rise above a total of $106.35 unless I need a part, which does happen fairly often, that somebody brings a machine in here that needs a part, such as a hard drive, a fan, some memory, if they want a memory upgrade, or if I have to replace defective memory, etc. Most of this is minor parts. Some other jobs, like this server for this client, it's a little more complicated, and we can get up into the hundreds of dollars at that point when we're doing things like custom computer builds from scratch and things like that. But still, the $50 an hour rate is among the least expensive rates in this area of Connecticut, and it may very well be the least expensive rate in a very wide area. Most of your IT services, even for in-shop stuff, will run somewhere between $100 an hour and $150 an hour, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. Field work. I also do work for businesses in the field, and the rates that I charge for field work is $75 an hour, as long as it takes under an hour to travel to the job site. If it takes an hour or more to travel to the job site, I will then charge $85 an hour, and that time that affects the rate is one way. If it's an hour one way, then the $85 an hour gets invoked. Now, as far as the travel charges go, I will not charge if you are within the Woodbury, Connecticut town limits. If you're in the Woodbury, Connecticut town limits, I will not charge anything for travel time. If you are outside of the Woodbury limits, I will charge the appropriate amount of time as required to actually travel to the site and get back here to the office. Most people do this for two reasons. The first reason is the cost of gas, and the second reason is the cost of vehicle maintenance. Again, the $75 and $85 an hour rate are probably among some of the lowest rates in this area as far as field work goes. Most general IT field work, again, will range between 120 and 160 per hour. 150 tends to be a very common standard that I see a lot. And there are a couple things to be aware of with this general rate. And that is this: if you're dealing with a specialty IT service, i.e. information assurance, or what we call computer security, the rates for that type of specialty work, which by the way, I do perform computer security work myself. Those of you that have followed the channel for a long time know that Litchfield County is a computer security specialist. The typical rate that gets charged for this type of specialized IT service can go as high as $300 per hour. Yeah, you guys, you all heard me right. That's $300 per hour. But we're not done yet. Typically, when you contact an IT company to do work for you, the very first thing that you have to do before any work will get done at all is you have to sign a service contract. And what will happen is the IT guy that you've called will show up with this big long piece of paper with all kinds of terms and conditions in it that most people typically do not even read, and you really need to read them for reasons I will get into. And they will say, here, sign it. And they sign it, and the work begins, and they're well on their way. Well, if you didn't read the contract, there's a few things you need to be aware of. One, along with these contracts, there is a retention fee. And this retention fee can be paid by the month or the year. A lot of these people will do it by the year. And especially if it's being done by the year, retention fees can go into the thousands or tens of thousands of dollars per year. The client that I built this black server for over here, I did a video on previously. Some of you may have seen it. He canceled his previous IT service contract with the company he had because he discovered they were charging him a retention fee of $10,000 per year. That's whether they did any work or not. And then on top of that, when they did actually do things for the company, and this is it didn't matter whether it was a 2-second phone call or whether it was somebody taking a trip out and actually doing something, working over there for a couple hours, the rate was $150 per hour. That's in addition to the retention fee of $10,000 per year. Whoa. That, I still can't believe I'm even saying that. It's still a shock to me. And before I found that out, I knew how bad things were in this industry, but I didn't know just how bad can get. I didn't actually have a number that I could put a quantity to. So I was a little shocked when I found that out. Another thing that's very important in the IT industry and with these contracts is that you can't just get out of them. You either usually have to wait until the contract expires, or you have to wait, or you have to pay to get out of the contract, or sometimes you can get out. They have a clause in the contract that if the IT company messes up, you can get out of the contract. Well, this clause is usually pretty easy to invoke. all you have to do is say, you're not meeting my needs anymore, and you can get out of the contract, which is the good thing, and that's the way most people tell companies that are stuck in IT service contracts how to get out of them. Litchfield County Computer does not use service contracts. I don't believe in them. Service contracts are not there for the benefit of the customer. They're there for the benefit of the IT firm. They use them for two reasons. One, to make sure that you can't just go off to some other firm because you don't like what's going on. Yeah, it's a control thing. They want to maintain control over their customers. Does that sound cool to you? I don't think that sounds cool to me. The second reason is for accounting purposes. They want to make sure that no matter what may happen with their workload, that they're getting X amount of dollars every month. Does that sound nice to you? It doesn't sound like they're looking out for your needs, at least not to me. I've never believed in service contracts, and I will never use them. I want people to stay with me because they like me and appreciate me for my honesty and quality of service, not because I've got you by the short hairs because you're in a service contract with me. And this is also part of the reason why the rates are what they are, is because I want to put emphasis not on how much money is coming in, but on the quality of service. Happy customers are more important to me than what my invoices look like at the end of the month. As always, feel free to rate, comment, like, subscribe, and I hope you found this video informative and educational, if not a little bit shocking, and I hope nobody fell on the floor as they were watching this because they were so shocked. Remember, in the beginning, I told you to be sitting in a chair when you watch this video, and I'll see everyone next time. See you soon. Bye-bye.